Hey y'all, Robin here. Today I'm going to go over my 5 top mobility drills that I like to do either at the end of the day if I'm having a little bit of low back pain from sitting on the computer, or before I'm about to move and do a workout. Here are my top go-to moves. Number 1, I like starting in a child's pose. This position, it just allows my shoulders to relax. It relieves a little bit of strain on the low back, and it's a great place to just start with my breathing. So I'll start here and take a few deep breaths in and out, really allowing my hips to sink down to my heels. Number 2 is a side stretch within this child's pose. So I'll walk it over to one side, finding a few breaths into the side ribs, staying here as long as feels good for you, and then doing the same on the other side. Next, I always like to come on up and find a cat-cow sequence, like 5 or 6 times through, just allowing my spine to move and practicing my hinging pattern with my hips. If you're sitting all day, your hips might get stuck in one position, so it's nice to move it around, and also a great way to activate your core as you breathe. Nice. Next up, I like to push my hips back, walk my hands together, step one foot forward, and now I'm in this low lizard lunge. I can either stay here, just allowing my hips to sink down to the ground. I can also lift that foot up off the ground and add in some rotation, which is really nice, moving up and down. So stacking your shoulders as you reach and breathe in, and then exhaling as you unwind. Next up, and final favorite, is extending my leg back behind me and then sliding it out to the side. So my toe is in line with my knee. From here, you can do things like rock forward and back, and you'll really find this in the inner thigh or the adductor area. And then you can also add in some thoracic rotation, which for all of us is important to maintain. So with that thoracic rotation, we'll reach to the sky towards the straight leg, stacking your shoulders. And then as you exhale, thread that arm underneath and through. You might even tap your shoulder to the mat and hold for a moment, pressing your hand, shoulder, and head gently into the ground. If this feels like too deep of a stretch, you can also stay straight with that arm. And then you can move back and forth with that motion. Final one, and then we'll move into my favorite myofascial release drill for upper back pain. So coming onto the back, classic figure 4, so stacking your ankle on top of your knee and then pulling that in. You can either hang on underneath that thigh or just let the arms hang out to the side. Some people might even keep it on the ground or pulling it in. Taking at least 5 long breaths here if you've been in that prolonged sitting position for a long time. This is a nice one just to release the hips and open them in a different way. Obviously, on both sides. Alrighty. And last but not least, this is my ultimate go-to for when I've been sitting all day and I'm starting to get achy in my upper spine. So I do this pretty much every night. Grab yourself a set of double balls. So if you don't have something like this that already comes attached, you can take 2 tennis balls and stuff them into a sock and then tie it. All right, so let's go into it. So we're gonna place these balls right around this mid-spine area, right around where your bra strap would be. For some people, it might be a little bit higher or a little bit lower, but try not to go too low on these lower ribs. So we'll stay in that area. All right, so once you're on that area, again, you might gently slide up and slide down to find the most kind of tender area for you. And then there's 3 movements I'd like to go through in this position. So the first one is allowing yourself to just lay and let your body relax into the balls first. The second is to take your pelvis and tilt it back and then up. Notice that my low back is staying on the ground, so I'm not coming here, but I'm keeping it on the ground, tucking and rounding, and it will roll the balls up and down. You can do that for as long as feels good. From there, pause, and then let your knees fall to the left and to the right. So what this does is it just pours your weight into the left side ball and to the right side, and you might notice that one side might be more restricted than the other. So one side is a little more tight, so you might notice that after you do this rocking for even a minute, it starts to even out a little bit. And then last one, only if you feel solid here, if it feels like this is already excruciating pain, like on a sensation level 7 or above, just skip this one. But if you feel like right now, this is about like a 4 or 5 for me, what you can do is interlace your fingers, reach them behind your back, take a deep breath in, and then lift your shoulders and your chin up off the mat and point your fingers in between your knees. And then again, lean on back, reaching. And again, reaching forward. Nice and slow. So there you have it, my top mobility drills for addressing back pain, tension in the lower or the upper spine, and just my go-to mobility drills that I use pretty much every day to keep mobile and active. If you're interested in diving just a little bit deeper into finding a movement routine that is under 20 minutes per day, you can download my movement blueprint. I'll link it down below, and I've created a 14-day movement program for you, which tells you exactly what to do Monday through Sunday, and it's all less than 20 minutes a day. There's body weight workouts, mobility drills, and parasympathetic low-level activities or low-energy activities, and how to basically structure your workouts. And that's all free for you down below. So go ahead and download it, and I'll see you in the next one.